Imagine standing in front of a giant wall of dominoes, each one taller than the last. The first is the size of your finger. The last one, as tall as the Empire State Building. Now here's the crazy part. If you push that tiny domino at the start, each one will knock over the next, and by the 57th domino, the force will be strong enough to topple that skyscraper-sized slab. That's the power of focus. That's the power of the one thing. Hello, I am Bharat, and welcome to Audiofybooks, where you will find excellent audio summaries of books in a very easy and interesting way. If you want to learn from new books, do subscribe to the channel. Let's get started with today's book. Life is complicated. Our to-do lists stretch longer than our patience. Our goals keep multiplying, and distractions wait for us at every corner. In a world that glorifies multitasking and hustling harder, Gary Keller and Papasan offer a completely different message, one that's so simple it almost feels radical. They say, success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less intentionally. The one thing is built around a single, powerful idea. If you want extraordinary results, you must narrow your focus. You must find that one thing, the most important task, the one action, the highest leverage move that makes everything else easier or unnecessary. And then you give that one thing your undivided attention. The story begins with Gary himself. He was overwhelmed. Running one of the largest real estate companies in America, his days were eaten up by meetings, emails, interruptions. He was drowning in responsibilities until one day, in sheer frustration, he asked himself a question that would change everything. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? That was the birth of the focusing question. Think about your own life for a moment. Maybe you're juggling school, work, side hustles, relationships, health goals, and 100 tabs open in your mind. We all are. And yet, every day, we try to tackle everything. We say yes to too much, try to do it all, and end up exhausted, burned out, and not much closer to our dreams. The one thing argues that this is a broken approach. There's a quote in the book that really stuck with me. Success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right. We often confuse being busy with being productive. But productivity isn't about checking off 100 tasks. It's about identifying the vital few that truly move the needle and going all in on those. And this isn't just philosophy. The authors back it up with hard evidence. Did you know that multitasking can reduce your productivity by up to 40%? That when you switch between tasks, it can take up to 23 minutes to regain full focus? Imagine how much time is wasted each day just by trying to do too much at once. That's why the book pushes you to build your day, your week, even your life around your one thing. And that starts with asking the focusing question every day. What's the one thing I can do today for my career, health, relationships, goals, such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? It's like a compass. Every time you feel lost, overwhelmed, or distracted, you return to that question. Let's say you're trying to get fit. You could worry about supplements, fancy equipment, fitness influencers on Instagram. Or you could ask, what's the one thing I can do for my health? Maybe it's committing to a 30-minute walk every morning. That one habit could kickstart better sleep, improved energy, and even motivation to eat healthier. Everything starts moving from that single push. The book also dives into the lie of willpower. We tend to treat willpower like a switch we can flip on anytime. But actually, it's more like a battery. It gets drained as we use it. That's why the authors say, protect your mornings. Do your one thing first when your energy and focus are at their peak. Don't let your most valuable work get lost in the noise of emails and small tasks. Here's something interesting. Research shows that top performers in every field Whether it's athletes, artists, or business moguls, spend most of their time practicing or performing their one thing. A musician doesn't try to master every instrument. A sprinter doesn't train for marathons. Focus builds excellence. Distraction breeds mediocrity. But of course, life doesn't make it easy. There's a chapter that talks about the 6 lies that keep us from success. Things like everything matters equally, multitasking works, willpower is always on call, a balanced life is possible, big is bad. These ideas sound good, but they're traps. They keep us stuck in mediocrity because they spread our energy too thin. The truth is, not everything matters. In fact, most things don't. That's where the 80-20 rule comes in. The idea that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. But Keller takes it even further. He says, go smaller. Inside that 20%, there's a 20% of that 20%. Keep drilling down until you find the one most impactful thing. That's your lead domino. Let's bring it home with an example. Imagine you're launching a side hustle. You might think your to-do list should include designing a logo, making a website, setting up social media, researching competitors, and maybe even learning video editing. But what if your one thing is simply talking to your first 10 potential customers? That one action could validate your idea, reveal what people actually want, and spark your momentum. Everything else can wait. And here's where the book gets practical. Once you know your one thing, you need to time block it. That means putting it on your calendar like an unbreakable appointment. No distractions, no rescheduling. That's your sacred focus time. Even just a few hours a day, consistently focused on your one thing, can create results that others take years to achieve. Now let's talk about something that often holds people back: fear. What if you choose the wrong one thing? What if you miss out on other opportunities? Keller addresses this too. He says, choosing your one thing is not about perfect certainty, it's about direction. You choose the best path you can see right now. And once you start moving, clarity follows action. Think of it like turning a steering wheel. You can't course correct if the car isn't moving. He also emphasizes the importance of your environment. You are the average of the people you surround yourself with. If you want to stay focused, you need to design a life that supports that. Limit distractions. Say no more often. Surround yourself with people who support your goals and respect your time. By the time you reach the end of the book, it becomes clear. This isn't just about productivity, it's about purpose. When you know your one thing, your life starts to align. Your energy isn't scattered anymore. You start waking up with clarity, not chaos. You move with intention instead of reacting to everything around you. There's a deep sense of peace that comes from doing less, but doing it better. From saying no to the noise and yes to what really matters. That's how you topple the giant dominoes in your life. That's how you create momentum that moves mountains. And that, my friend, is how you change everything, by mastering the one thing.